vacation many times. So please welcome Jon Kokesh up from Kahuna Beach.
Thank you. All right, very good. Well, good morning. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you all very much for coming out. And today we're going to present Kahuna Beach Volleyball to you. Before I get started, I'm going to ask you all to go back to the last time you remember going on a vacation somewhere nice, tropical. What was it like? Did you go to the beach? Obviously, we live here in Virginia Beach, so we're very fortunate. You can drive 15 minutes, 5 minutes down the road, or if you're lucky, like some of us, live right there on the beach. So we have this opportunity to go relax and get this atmosphere with the sand and feet, palm trees, little tiki bar, if you will. And that's what we're going to bring to the city dweller. This is our complex, and what we are is a 13-court outdoor sand volleyball complex that will be located in Orlando, Florida. We service up to 576 volleyball enthusiasts each evening, Monday through Friday. And we are about service, we're about aesthetics, and we're about atmosphere. We want people to come out, get great service, enjoy the atmosphere that we provide. It's fun. You can relax, have a good time, even have some competition if you will. And has anybody heard of Top Golf?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
They're building one right down the street.
yes, they are. They're coming to Virginia Beach. So Top Golf, two guys in England had a great idea. We're going to take golf and we're going to make it better. We're going to take what you don't like about golf away, and we're going to enhance the things you love about golf. So you get the competition, the ball comes back to you, you still get to compete, you still get to track how well you're doing, and you basically get VIP service where you are. So we want to do what Top Golf did for golf, for volleyball. This is our facility. It's somewhat difficult to see on this dark screen, and not to get into too much detail, but there's really 4 quadrants of 3 courts to our complex. The most competitive will play in that quadrant 1. You go clockwise over to quadrant 4. That's for people, even if you've never played volleyball, you'll come out. Maybe you're more into drinking beer than playing volleyball. So that's probably where you would be. We call it the wannabe section, if you will. So the status right now, conceived in May, $70,000 I've invested. I got a general manager, Bryce Powers, I'm going to introduce in a second on the screen. And he has a network of 600 sand volleyball enthusiasts in the Orlando area. And that's important because that's our break-even capacity. The point where we're profitable is when his people come and play, which they will. So we have a guarantee. We just launched on Facebook 2 days ago. Within 24 hours, we had 325 people like our page. So we're using the power of social media to drive us forward and prove to you that we have people that want to play, and this sport is expanding. The management team, myself, and this is my better half, Anna Margaret Brown, South Carolina girl, so she's got the double name. My background's business, my expertise. I've had a lot of success, 9 years with Mattress Firm. You might be familiar with the company here locally. Been here for about 4 or 5 years. Excuse me. Done extremely well, and after 9 great years, I decided to go on my own venture. So I own another business that does well. My brother runs it. I'm a silent partner. And I have experience in sand volleyball. I've played 5 years and 7 years in the hospitality industry. Bryce Powers. Now I asked him to send me about 20 headshots. Every single one of them had a shirt off and a volleyball in hand. What am I going to do? This guy's like the modern day Hoff, I tell you. So his expertise is in the sport. It's the yin to the yang. He's got a background in business. He also shares 7 years in the hospitality industry. What's important about Bryce is his connection. He was the founder of University of Central Florida's Beach Volleyball Club, and he's also was the president. He still manages their pages on web and Facebook today. So he has a network. He brings the party to the complex. A little bit about the market. 46 million Americans today play volleyball. That's 12% of the U.S. population. How many people in the room play volleyball? We beat those odds. Great job. Or have played volleyball.
Yeah.
So it is.
I'm one of the wannabes.
You were one of the wannabes.
or wannabeers, you know.
That's right. We need those people. Yeah. So the cool thing about sand volleyball, or beach volleyball, if you will, specifically, is it was introduced in the NCAA sport in 2012, fielding 16 teams. It nearly doubled in interest every year, and it is the fastest growing NCAA sport in the history of NCAA. What has happened is this market and this demand for places to play, and the interest in sport is expanding, and people are not organized or putting anything together or a place for people to come out and play. But that's what we're going to do. Our target isn't even the people that play volleyball, it's just any adult between 18 and 34 years of age, because adults want that social connection. They want the community. They want to socialize. They want to be athletic. They want to play. They want to have a few beers and have fun, right? Who doesn't want that? That's what makes us successful. In Orlando, if you look at Orange County, the population of our target audience is 327,000 people, and they spend $1.5 billion each year in restaurant hobbies. If you look at Orlando's metro, you will double that number. So of $3 billion, when our complex hits capacity, we're only going to be able to do 2.4 million of that. It's less than 1% of that pie we're going after for our first complex. And currently, there's nowhere to play in Orlando. There are a few competitors that have some organized leagues. You got Orlando Sports and Social Club, you have Orlando Sports Center. Both of these are multifaceted. They don't focus on sand volleyball sport, and thus they have fair and poor facilities. OSSC, the first one, they play at a city park. Anybody play any sports at a city park? It's top level quality, right? No, not quite. Orlando Sports Center, they focus on the youth, the 12 to 17-year-olds. So they only provide one night each night for adults to play. And our nearest competitor that does any tournaments is Sandbox in Vero Beach. They're an hour and a half away. So, similarly, we're going to do league. Our league dues are right in line with what people are currently paying when you break it down per person. Our first year will be reduced to help the growth. But if you look at our product mix and what we're going to sell, it's a very high profit margin on most of our items. 38% of our business will come just from the league dues. You don't have to have a membership to come out and visit this complex, but you have to pay a league due to play for that 10-week long span of time. The other part, the alcohol beverages, is also a very high profit margin. This is our core product mix, additional revenues, banners throughout. We can do collegiate contracts, high school contracts, offset and grow our revenues, apparel and merchandise, and corporate and group sales events, because we are a nice sports complex, beautiful aesthetics. We can do a lot of things there, folks. We need $1.4 million to get this venture started. And why should you invest? Here's our financial revenues. In year one, this model is based off of his network coming out and playing and word of mouth growth only. There'll be nearly $1 million in revenue and $90,000 in net income first year. But when we're at year 3 at 90% capacity, over $2 million in business for this complex, and it runs a 36% net profit margin, fielding almost $750,000 a year in net income. So the reason it's so profitable is it runs a very high gross profit margin mixed with very manageable expenses. What is the exit strategy? We talked about Topgolf. Their management team announced they'll be going public sometime in the next 12 to 24 months. That could be an opportunity. They make golf better. We make volleyball better. Or, with the enriched profitability, Kahuna Beach Volleyball may buy back the interest from the investors themselves at a certain point in time. In summation, we're bringing the beach atmosphere to the city dweller. We service over 570 people each night. That's Monday through Friday. Also tournaments on weekends. Our target market, 327,000 people, 1.5 billion. Double that when you look at Orlando's metro population. We have early traction with this network that already makes us profitable. And finally, when we hit 90% capacity, we're grossing $750,000 a year in net profit. Questions?
Wow.
Perfect. All right.
Hey.
Yeah. Go ahead and open up the floor for questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone else doing this
Yeah, you
somewhere?
can.
Yes, proven concept. In the spirit of time, I had to get a lot in a short amount of time to get you an idea of what's going on. But yes, this is a proven concept throughout the entire U.S. Actually, California is where they started most. That's where the biggest explosion is. Louisiana, like I'm from Baton Rouge. I was there for 3 years with the company, and they have 70 courts over 4 facilities on a 1.5 million metro. So all of those are extremely successful, and the courts are fully filled. Orlando's metropolis is 2.2 million, and they have 3 courts.
Is this just going to be a standalone facility in Orlando? You're not thinking about bringing it to Virginia Beach?
We plan to be nationwide. This is our first one will be in Orlando, and we believe we can get 3 to 5 complexes in Orlando and expand throughout Florida. And the reason we want to be in Florida is, unlike anywhere else in the U.S., the last 2 places in California, you can play year-long. You can get 4 seasons in it, where everyone else is limited from 1 to 3 seasons on outdoor sand volleyball complexes. And even in 1 or 2 seasons, they're profitable and they do well.
Yeah, and why Orlando?
Why Orlando? Bryce is from Orlando. He has a network, and we have a guarantee to open our doors and be profitable right away. Yes?
I have a racquetball background. I used to play professional racquetball. And one of the reasons the sport is dying is the cost per square foot is too expensive for the number of people that can participate in that same square footage.
Absolutely.
And as the cost of real estate continues to go up, then the cost drives the cost per player up. Have you looked at that?
Yes, absolutely. And complexes have different ways they'll run their business. So some of them will do league nights where only 2 people play, some on each team, some will do 4 people. Ours is built, you pick, has to be at least 3 and up to 6 people that can play, up to 8 people on your roster. So that maximizes, like you're saying, we have a lot of land, we have a lot of expenses. This is a $1.4 million startup. Not a risky one, a safe one, but it's still $1.4 million to start an organization. So yeah, absolutely. We made a decision to maximize our profit streams by having the most amount of people playing on the court. That option is up to the player. If they're very competitive, they're only going to want to play 3 or 4. If they're more fun, they want 6 people on the court. So we want as many people there because 38% of our business is alcohol and 17% of it's food. So that's the majority. We are a restaurant that services the league volleyball player. Yes, sir.
Now, your facility in Orlando that you're proposing is an outdoor facility, right?
That's correct.
Can this be done in an indoor facility?
It absolutely can, and it is. Actually, TDA locally is opening indoor sand in October. Another company is opening indoor that I didn't get confirmation, I can share that. But yes, it's a proven concept, outdoor and indoor. When we do it indoor, I already have plans for that. That's years down the road, but it'll be something no one's seen before. So it'll be very exciting at that point. Yes?
I know you said that your target segment is 18 to 34, and you said that your marketing was based on the network that one of your partners had. However, have you ever thought of expanding it to being like, to companies as, like group plays, and how they have these like adventure sports where you go into businesses and you say, you could have an event from businesses. Have you thought of marketing outside of that segment?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you cannot just be at a specific segment. I think you kind of diversification.
Absolutely. And to clarify, this went fast.
Yes.
I can go back, and this will help get us to the right slide here. All right. You might have to help me get back to presentation. We get exited when we get back to questions. So, and to answer your question, and we may not have the visual background, on the additional revenue streams, that's the corporate and group event sales, those are proven concepts. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Everything we're doing is proven effective, and proven very profitable. So yeah, there's that. You've got, we've got high schools we can work with. We have like the youth that we can do training camps, etc. Those are all additional revenues. I believe in the philosophy of Bruce Lee. He's not afraid of the man with 10,000 kicks, but rather the man that has practiced one kick 10,000 times. We have a core product mix, which we identified as making us the most profitable. And until we are proficient at doing that, and we've streamlined our processes, we won't hold back on expanding, but absolutely we have a ton of ideas of ways we can continue to expand on.
Weather in Florida, obviously right now it's the off season, thunderstorms every day.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I've lived there too, actually. Or you've been down there enough to know.
Yeah, a lot of high days with really high heat. That's one side of the question. The other side of the question is how much of the company is for sale, and are you breaking it down by units, or how have you looked at doing that?
Sure, absolutely. So 2-part question to answer. The first one first. The weather in Florida. Thunderstorms are prevalent anywhere from early afternoon 1 to 2 o'clock up until about 5 to 5:30. That's when they shut down. And it's going to happen almost every day, no matter where you are in Florida. But they stop, and in the evening, the weather isn't bad. So that's one thing going for us. Our leagues start at 6:30 p.m. We post all the time. Now, if it rains, people play in the rain. People that love sand volleyball, we will play in the rain. We don't care. That doesn't stop us. Lightning will. So if it becomes dangerous, they come inside the building. Yeah, we don't. Right. And they buy more drinks.
And they make
nothing
more
else to
money.
do.
Yeah.
So it actually works out for us. Second part of your question, help me out again.
how are you selling your company? Are you
What's the
selling
1.4
shares?
million for?
You have 1.4
Certainly.
million, are you breaking it down into units, or you
Yeah,
you have a
absolutely.
certain percentage for sale and you're gonna retain X percent?
We're very open to discussion, and we've outlined like some early investor options that are pretty lucrative and enticing for the first person that invests, because that's a snowball effect. So we have some things in mind, but we're not closed-minded, if that answers it. We're very open to discussing whatever, and tailoring it to whatever you prefer. Some people might just want money back, they know it's gonna be successful. Other people are like, I'm thinking national chain, and I want to be a part of that, you know, a small piece of a big pie. Yes, sir.
First, great pitch. I really feel sorry for the guy next week.
Thank you.
That's to be him.
So the thing that would concern me the most is the assumptions behind filling the courts to the point where you're viable. How many of those assumptions have you tested? The ability to get 574 people out at night, that sounds like a lot of people to me. And so is that minimum viable? I know that I saw your projections, but where's your minimum viable level? Where do you survive?
Yeah.
And what have you tested to feel confident that that number of people are going to show up?
Certainly. So to sum all of that up, and again, this went fast. 20% capacity, 20% of our nets being filled is where our break-even is and we're profitable. So that's that. In terms of the number of people coming out and being serviced at a complex, that is a proven concept. I played at a complex that already, I played there for 2.5 years that does that. How do we know those people are going to come out and play? We have almost 300 of those likes on Facebook came from Orlando's Metropop. Bryce proven the fact that these people are into it. They have to go to Facebook, they have to click like. Have anybody taken their company and send it viral and asked everybody to like it? For instance, Enhance, the other company I own, we all sent that viral, right? And today we have 72 likes on Facebook. And we've been open since March. It's not easy. The top complexes in the US have 2,900 likes after being in business for like 20 years, 15 years, and building a business over many, many years. And the best one here locally is V2 with 1,900 likes. That power of social media shows our ability to influence that market. So we know that they're serious about coming out and play, and we have interest forms that people are filling out. We have 15 of them that filled out that said, hey, we want you to contact us. We're going to start a team.
Yeah. So I lived in Orlando for a while too. I played volleyball in Orlando in the league.
Sure.
It actually, when I was in that age bracket, and I know there are people down there, and it's fun to play volleyball down there. You might look for a way to, make whether it's a demonstrations, or semi-pro players coming in and doing clinics or something to help the pop, because while I think the established ones, obviously, if they can fill the courts, that's great, but getting from 0 to that level takes time. And I think you can do to shorten that time, I think would make your investors feel more comfortable. So if you had a semi-professional athlete, or get Mary May out there,
Absolutely. So that is Bryce. He actually competed in AVP in New Orleans. That is the top tour. He placed 25th with a partner he had to pick up a week and a half before because the partner he was going to play couldn't play. Bryce is that sex appeal, if you will, for our sport. He's won a multitude of open tournaments, which is the top level you play anywhere regionally. And AVP is the top one you can play at nationally. And he plays 25th. So yes, we have that. That is my business partner. His network are all those top level players throughout Florida. And they are already interested, and we've already discussed with them, doing the clinics and doing that. So that's one part. We have an aggressive marketing budget for the first 2 quarters and before we open our doors. And additionally, we're doing a grand opening week, which will be the first full week before leagues for people to come out. It'll be half price drinks, half price food to build the event. Mixed with that, in our marketing campaign, we are going to be targeting the different segments of our target market, from direct mailers to Pandora, Spotify. It'll be multifaceted from traditional to more modern and social venues of social media.
Do you have land and a site already picked out for this?
Yes, we do. I cannot put in an offer comfortably quite yet. Once we reach a certain level of investment, I'll be comfortable putting in the offer and giving the green light for construction.
Yeah, I think he was correct when you say, I'm going to rely on this guy's network to fill it. That makes investors very nervous because there's not a definite actual plan. So my suggestion is you kind of include a whole overall, because when somebody says, I'm going to rely on this guy to fill the room, I mean, they're like, okay, I've seen people saying, hey, that's great. There's very few people who can actually fill a room, and that's the model to generate, that's a great idea, but until it's actually lit out, most investors will go, well, how does that work? Because one guy can't fill a room with his network unless there's a definite plan laid out.
Sure. No, and that's a great concern to have because it's something that's come up before. We're not really concerned, and I'm not banking on that. Again, we have an aggressive and technical marketing
Well, I agree, but that was what you said. That was what I saw.
Our numbers and projections do not include our marketing budget being any successful. It's only on that network. So let's say he can only do 50% of what he said, and our marketing network, our marketing campaign is mildly successful. We hit that guarantee that I present to you today. I do not present numbers I cannot hit. I have not done that in my entire career, and I won't do it now. So the second part to it, 12% of Orlando's population is 134,000 people that play volleyball there. We can only service 2,700 at max capacity. So when we send out and we target these people, let me ask you, if that complex was down the street, of you that have played volleyball, would you go and play, Richard?
Yes.
You would. Would you go out there and play? I don't know if you still play.
Yeah.
You can play sand volleyball. I've seen people in their 60s out there that do extremely well. It is a phenomenal sport.
I'll drink a beer for you.
You would come out to watch people with their clothes off that are in athletic shape, though, wouldn't you? Who doesn't want that? You're going to go happy hour down to the sports bar and watch ESPN, or do you want to go watch it live? The target of people that are playing are the younger crowd, 18 to 25, and the girls play in the bikinis, the guys play the shirts off, and they're athletic. It is a great ambiance and atmosphere that once somebody comes in, they drink the Kool-Aid, they're going to be there. They don't traditionally leave. And then I'll be right back with you.
Yeah, do you think that you would have like one, because I was actually watching the girls over the weekend, and I appreciate your comment about the bikinis, okay, but would you have one, because you didn't say anything about spectators, would you have like one of those courts with bleachers
right
so
in the
people
middle.
could come and see? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that center court, and right there is the finals court. So when you play a tournament, and you guys, anybody go down to ECSC this weekend? Anybody walk by and see the finals court with the stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to have bleachers that can come out for that, for the major tournaments we'd be hosting. We have the bar outside decking, and that's a stadium effect, by the way. The inside bar is the top level, outside decking is a little bit lower, so no matter where you're at, you can watch the play anywhere. That provides a lot of seating very close to the bar. And then in volleyball, people love to bring out their own chairs and tents, and they just love doing this. So we've been back and forth on whether or not we need to provide more seating and umbrellas. Really, we don't. Because people want to stake that claim. When they put up a tent, that's all their space. And people are very proud of that because they get to share it with their friends. They're that type A person. Anybody know one of those? Yeah. They love to do that. So by us putting that up, almost defeats what they've traditionally done and what they prefer to do. But that center court, to answer your question, yes, it brings a lot of excitement to it because other complexes haven't taken the time to design a center court for them.
Yeah, and just a real quick follow-up.
Yes.
Is there any national, speaking about the girls that were playing over the weekend,
Yes.
is there any national training spot for the volleyball players that go on to play like in the Olympics and all that? Or where do they practice? Just on a beach or what?
Yep, that's a great question. And like, let's take locally. Chris McGarity is an ex-pro. He played the pro circuit for many years and top level, so he does a lot of coaching and training. He has a group of coaches he coaches to coach. That's where they're getting their training throughout the U.S., just different areas. You got
The coaches go to the players, you mean?
yeah. Generally, you're going to have a driving range. You've got a pro or semi-pro player that's running that, and that's how it is. So it's not like a national. They come one spot to train. I'm sure there's some of those organized that I don't have all the information right now, but in their own region or locally in their own city, generally a semi-pro or pro player that's played many years that can do that training, and they facilitate that. Yes.
So I think I know what might convince me more.
Sure.
I think one of the things that's really great about the internet right now in crowdsourcing and crowdfunding is the ability to get advanced sales is
Right.
really what it shows.
Right.
And I've met many entrepreneurs that really use things like Indiegogo and Kickstarter to test their market, to see how many people don't say they like, but actually buy,
Sure.
because they're buying. Well, one way to look at it, I just took your 1.4 million divided by the 2,700 full capacity, that's only $500 a piece. So a Kickstarter offer that offers a part ownership, but I don't think raising the 1.4 is hard if you already had the first year's, 50% signed up.
Correct.
So go run a Kickstarter campaign and advance sales for the first year, and have your target level maybe be, this is my minimum viable, I won't lose money, have that, and then try to overshoot that, and then prove your marketing prowess by using those networks to raise the buzz and get people to do their advanced sales. That will then convince investors that it's not just likes on Facebook, that there are people who have tickets, they already are ready for the first season.
Absolutely, and it's a great point that we've already considered, and we shied away from putting the word on the street for a little bit because we didn't really want to give somebody else this idea. Some people ask what are barriers to entry. There's not a barrier to entry, like really anybody that's played volleyball could build a complex. So we were timid at that for a moment last week after visiting here at 1 Million Cups. You have to have a really nice concoction to put together what we're doing. So because of that and what makes investors more at ease, we launched social media, and pre-sales for league memberships is also part of that we're going to be putting together. Instagram and Twitter will be launched later this week, and then early next week we're going to look at how to put that together. So part of Facebook and our website is an interest form to get exclusive. When they do that, they can pre-purchase this league membership next year. It does two things: it gives us funds now, gives them a discount, and also they're fully committed to playing to fill that capacity as you talked about. I want to know these people are going to come and play.
I lose that fear.
Already gone.
Yeah.
We launched on Facebook 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I want to just clarify then.
Yep.
So you had earlier considered a Kickstarter and were like, we maybe don't want the idea out
Correct.
there. But now you've gotten past that. So
Yes.
I think what he's saying is go back to Kickstarter. All that other social media stuff is great, but go back to Kickstarter.
And we play
Yes. And if Kickstarter has a way, you can hack Kickstarter if you've got a crowd. Because Kickstarter promotes the ones that have the fastest growth, and so if you work your networks ahead of time and prep them, with the buzz, and then say, all right, I want that, the first crowd to hit Kickstarter. Okay, it's time for you second group to hit Kickstarter now, and then you get the bounce of the advertising, leading on Kickstarter. We talk about it in the Orlando media. The hottest idea on Kickstarter's coming to our area.
We're past that point and moving in the direction you mentioned. Absolutely.
So that leads to my question, which is, are you doing this full time now?
Yes.
This is all you're doing?
I do some bartending on the side, and then I do consultation for other company. Yeah.
And the
Otherwise-
70,000 that's in it
Correct. It's
is
my own money.
What did that get used for?
Only spent less than 5,000 thus far, and that was for the architectural design you saw. Is for my own education and getting to where we are today, and artist sketch, some other things that been very frugal and smart about where we spend the money. So 65,000 still with the company towards what we need to do. Yes.
Got a question, literally on timetable. Once you receive a certain funding level that you can really start building, how long will it take you to put the facility up?
Sure. We're going to have the funds within 30 days. I have no doubt about it in my mind. After that, and we secure the land, it's going to take 8 to 9 months to build out. So we'll be opening up next May or June, depending on how much pressure I can put on the general contractor.
All right, so going back to the Kickstarter, you're right in that it's a good time to get, hey, come on in. It's just,
Yep.
It's happening now, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, on the 31st day, after you raised your money, I have another entity So whoever's knocking on your door on day 31, please have them call.
Sure.
All right.
Will do.
So the second thing, there's three things, but the second thing is easy. I assume that you're going to focus on fresh and healthy fare in the restaurant.
Correct. Very light. There's actually no fryers, no fried foods.
Smoothies, stuff like that.
Juicers.
Yeah, and that's nobody's juicing at our complex.
Yeah.
We'll have most of it's just light, like it's perceived healthy, maybe not like tacos and salads and grilled cheese or just simple sandwiches, meat and cheese plates. So that's what our menu is. I have all that and I can show it to you. We already have it built out.
The other thing I want to say, I'm familiar with Florida, and the population in Orlando is dense. And there's not a bunch of tunnels and things like that, creating economic barriers. I was in Fort Lauderdale not too long ago, went into a restaurant that the capacity was 1,100 people, and they had a 20-minute waiting line. So 500 people is not a big number to me in that kind of region. But then the other question is, are you going to have like a pro shop?
Well, no, we didn't want to increase our labor costs and managing that, and also there's associated with that retail of loss. You have to be updated on what you're selling, and by all means, I've been in retail for 9 years.
Right.
And the profit model on that, net profit is like 11 to 15%. Well, we're running 36%. It's a great way to expand revenues. What we are doing, when you walk in that entrance, on the left-hand side, there's a little showcase. That way you're not walking up a long, barren entrance. In that showcase is all the apparel and stuff you can purchase. And it has a simple item number, and you just tell the bartender or manager or somebody what you want. This way we don't have to pay somebody to sit behind a register. We don't have to continue on fluff, ruffle things, make it look nice. And we don't have to worry about people walking out with their merchandise. All of it will be stored back in our storage room. But that is the apparel. We'll probably have that immediately. There's a very major brand called Wannabes that I mentioned earlier. If you're one of those wannabe players. Two of my buddies, Sean Hyman and Josh Wells, started that brand. They're out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's become huge in the Southeast volleyball community. So us carrying some of their apparel, some of our apparel, some gear that you need is about all we're going to do. Nothing crazy, nothing special. So it's a small pro shop, if you will.
Okay, so, well, let me just put a pause in here because we're at 9:36 and we've asked more than 20 minutes worth of questions. So we'll turn it over to the question for you, which is, you've been here a few times now, you know what this community is about. What can this community do for you? What's the most important thing you think people here can do?
Sure. Most important thing you can do is, if you are interested in investing, invest. Next time you go to Starbucks to grab your coffee, think about this. If you had the opportunity to be a part of Starbucks back in 1983 when they started to explode, would you go back in time and say, you know what, let me get in that venture? Because that's what this will be nationwide. So think about that next time you grab your cup of coffee. Now, moreover, any advice and suggestions you have on the side, I'm very open. I've gotten where I am from people like you, great people with great minds, giving us solid, sound advice, and that's grown us to where we are now. So the people that are interested in investing now that we're discussing terms with at this time, they are people that play volleyball, and they want it. So those are most likely the people invest because they know, they get it, they watch, they see the baby boomer generation that love volleyball have kids and they're playing, and it is exploding at every seam. So they understand this is going to be easily, you could be a complete idiot and get in here and make money. And guess what? There are plenty of them. They are people that know volleyball, nothing about business, and they're doing extremely well already. Now you got somebody, an expert in volleyball, an expert in business put together. So those are the things, advice and all that. And if you have anybody that you know, turn me over to, that'd be great.
You've asked us to consider investing.
Yes.
What's your minimum investment, and how do we contact you if we're interested?
Absolutely. My contact information, is it on 1 Million Cups?
It probably doesn't make it easy to contact. I'm not sure. The contact.
No, it does, and I can put it on the, yes, no.
Sure.
I can load it, but it's not as easy to find it.
Right, we'll make it happen, and any of you in this room, I'd love to share my contact information with you. If not, Jonathan.Kokesh @gmail.com is my email, so that's easy.
Like we're really gonna spell that right.
Minimum investment.
There you go, close enough.
Easy.
Minimum investment, we're open to everything. What we have outlined, our minimum investment we're looking for is $100,000. But we are open to anything, so we wouldn't shut down any opportunity if you wanted to be involved in any level.
I got $1.
I've already had like 37 people give me that offer, so I just count $37. You know, Rome was built brick by brick, so dollar by dollar we might have to make this happen.
Do you have a prospectus, or are you gonna do an offering memorandum, or what?
Yeah, well,
Investors need to know the terms.
right, the terms are already detailed and outlined in a perspective to present. Again, we're not closed-minded, so we want to discuss and cater whatever it is that you want out of it and what we can deliver. That makes sense for us business-wise.
Well, one thing I can tell you from experience
Yes,
is
sir.
that you might want to consider limiting both voting rights as well as amounts that people can purchase. If you have a major investor, he or she is not going to want to have a lot of other voices in your ear.
Sure.
They're going to want to know that the primary players have your ear, not 400 people with $2 worth or being funny or $10,000 worth.
Well,
We've been down that road, and so restricting voting rights to a certain, you have to put in X amount in order to have voting rights.
Yep.
And then at another level, having preferred voting rights. So something for you to consider if you haven't thought of that already.
absolutely have, and I guess I should be upfront. You know, we're not closed-minded, but your opportunity as an investor, if you gave me 1.4 million, there's a max you would get of my company, and there's no chance for you to take a controlling share. So if you have somebody interested and they want controlling share, it's not even something I would be open to discuss, unfortunately. So,
I'll also
or
give you,
controlling voting rights.
because you asked a very good question
Yes,
about contact information. I'm just gonna put this out for everyone. There is a way to do it. The thing is, when you put your logo, you upload your logo in your application, I would recommend you go back and stick something in that logo about a little, not at the very top, you gotta be about, graphically about a half-inch up or whatever, and put that in your logo.
Okay.
Contact so-and-so, and reload your logo before we finalize it,
Got it.
because once it grabs that picture,
Will do. So
and
that
then
will-
when anybody sees that picture on the national level,
Okay.
will see your phone number.
Perfect, I'll do that.
All right, so
That's a
that's
great idea.
advice for
Yeah.
everyone that wants to, I guess I'll have to cut that out of the tape, but anyway, that's, I don't want one MC, you know, 1 million cups come after me.
All right, well, listen, let's give John. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are, just so reminder from folks who were here for last week, or if your first time or weren't here last week, we're going to go with a schedule of one presenter a week for a while, and then on a lot of weeks we're going to fill it in with educational material, or sometimes we'll just leave a little bit early, because I think some people said that they would appreciate that.